Is Wednesday, July 5th, day after 4th of July. And yes, I did get up early. Not getting up as early as I used to. I used to get up around 5:30 and I just naturally get up early, mostly because, I'm older. Talked about a whole bunch of that yesterday. Had a great day. We went to the community pool, hung out. I did a couple dives, which is why I'm a little stiff in the back right now. But had a good time, got to go swimming a little bit and enjoyed some family time, which is good. Some friends, some fun, some food. Ate way too much. And then we went up to La Colina and saw a bunch of fireworks. Pretty cool. Good time. All right, let's get into it. 3 things you need to know. Uh, first, San Jose is back, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But over last year, remember last year we peaked in April of 22, and then we started seeing the market kind of contract. Well, now we're seeing the effects. So if we look at the numbers, which we'll go through in a minute, you'll see that we're a little bit inverse. Now the values are still below on average where they were last year, but we saw houses take longer to sell. We saw what else? The days on market. We saw the list price come down a little bit. We saw that happening in March of last year. But now we're actually seeing the effects of the market coming back. And that's what a lot of what we're going to talk about too. One thing I want to share with you is a nice little article. San Jose officials stay in homeless shelter exposes reality. Now, good or bad, right? These are tiny homes. They're meant for the homeless shelters. They're temporary shelters for people to come in, get grounded, get their foundation back, get their feet back underneath them and understand it. It's definitely not luxury, but you know what? It's better than living in the jungle on a creek. Over the weekend, I was driving from church to Costco to grab some meat for the barbecue yesterday. And right at the 280 and 101 exchange, there was a massive fire. And it's just a constant thing with the homeless shelter, the homeless encampments. We see a lot of fires all over the place. I heard something where somebody told me that the San Jose's 60% of San Jose fires calls are for homeless encampments, which is sad, right? Whether you're for it, against it, you want to help them, do whatever, but we're doing what we can. It's just too much of a problem. So I think it's a good thing. I think, look, this is a reality here, right? This isn't the best environment for a lot of people, but it's a whole lot better than living in the dirt in a tent. So, I don't think this is a great solution. I think it's a solution, a start to a solution, but it is what it is, right? All right. So the second thing that we're going to talk about is why bother buying a home. And I talked about this a little bit last week, but really, here's the thing. I understand it's impossible. It is so freaking impossible, especially right now with inventory being so low and the rates being so high. If you're making a paltry amount of money, it's hard for you to do it. It's hard for you to buy a house. I understand. There's different ways to do it. And, if you can afford the payments, you should absolutely consider buying a house. But sometimes renting is a better option, right? Because the cost of buying a house, then you have to maintain it, then you have to pay taxes, you have to pay insurance, you have to pay all this other stuff. It's hard for you to understand if you're making $150,000, which is anywhere else in the world, it's a lot of money. Here, it's not a lot of money because most people make $250,000, $300,000, or families make that much. And that's just starting out to be, at a place where you can afford it. Right here, right? Plus, you need $200,000 for a down payment. You don't necessarily, but you can get a 3% conventional loan. You can get a USDA loan and buy a house in Hollister. Most of the houses in Hollister are in ag land or USDA zone where you can buy a house 0% down, or you buy a VA loan, right? Now, if you're making a lot of money and you have a lot of taxes, it might make smart choices. I'm not saying either way. It's up to you to educate yourself if it's time for you to buy a house, right? I always think so because I'm in sales and that's my job. But at the same time, it's beyond me not having a house or owning a house because you don't get the write offs. And if you're paying, you know, more than 10% of your money towards taxes, you could buy a house and you can get offsets, right? There's a lot of different ways to doing it, right? I'm not a tax guy. There's a lot of different things you can do about it. But at the same time, I understand it's hard, right? And where you're low and middle income, it doesn't mean that you can't buy a house. You just have to give up some of your must haves. Like, I need to have a dog and I need to have a backyard and I need to have a pool. Well, you know what? Maybe your first house should be a condo, a 2-bedroom condo. Start early. And I know people that are my age and they still rent. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but you know, the bad thing about renting is your landlord could evict you tomorrow, or they can raise their rent, or right, or they can be horrible landlords and not fix your water heater or air conditioning, especially last week, right? It's just you're not in control of your own destiny when you don't own a house. I understand it's hard to do it, but there's ways to do it. If you get in the mindset of I'm going to buy a house or a condo or a townhouse or whatever, there's a way to do it. And if you're interested in learning, I have a home buying seminar that's on the links down below. You're allowed to jump on that anytime. I don't follow up with you. If you have questions, you're allowed to call me. But I'm not a salesy kind of guy. Now, again, this is salacious. I don't even want to go here, really. Yeah, I do. Yeah, home sales are slumping. It's because inventory sucks. Inventory is down to 60% of what it should or where it was last year. And we're down 38% of where we're supposed to be on the average. So yeah, so home sales are slumping. Sales are going to be slower. You're not going to have as many houses to sell, so you're going to have a slump. I don't see that as a bad thing. I think that plus you look at the numbers, you see that prices are holding steady, right? Now, look, remember I told you San Jose's back last week, sales were better. Not by the average sales price, because last week's average sales price was 1.58. Last week before is 1.6. Same thing last week before. Over the last few weeks, we've seen prices are getting back to normal. But look at this list price to sales price ratio from this week to last week. Last year was 102. This week is 106. So you see prices are coming back. Last year, days on market were 17 because the market was contracting. Remember, could we go back into it? Everybody's calling for a recession, right? Every economist, every government, every news report is calling for a recession. It could affect the housing market. I don't know if it will or not. That's asking me to tell the future. I can't tell you that or not. Pendings are up from the last couple of weeks, which is weird because, we're supposed to be in summer and yet, overall, we're pretty much average. We haven't really seen a slowdown in pendings. Closes we've seen come down. Closes went down to 56 last week. That's because, May was just a kind of a difficult month. On average, we're at 58. So even though we had, a good month, really just a month, we think we're going to see this as being the normal. Now, here's the thing, right? We need to have 800, 900 units for sale at any given time for a healthy, balanced market. That's not a buyer's market or a seller's market. That's a good, healthy market for San Jose. Right now, we're at 342, right? And yeah, I did check it. So I know it's a double duplication over here, but it's the same number. Guys, we just don't have the numbers, right? And if you're thinking, oh, we'll just wait for an REO, well, good luck. Where is it? Why did I put that there? 184 property type less than 2 million. 228. Oh yeah, REOs. These are REOs in in the Bay Area. Just in the Bay Area, it's only 30. The Bay Area, 10 counties, all the way down to Monterey. So it's actually 11 or 12 counties. REO, all of California is 228. I took a quick look at the map of this for REOs. I want to share this with you real quick. 228, and they're all over Los Angeles, Lakeport, Groveland, Martinez, Oakland. Let's take a look at the map. There's a few here in San Jose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I didn't even see that. Oh, that's in. Oh, I can buy that now. This is the new condos right by River Oaks or whatever it's called, Village Oaks, right on the other side. This is an REO. It's $1 million town condo. The HOA is $662 a month. So I know it's not affordable. It's brand spanking new, but look, you get a brand new house. Basically, it's 3 years old, 4 years old, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,728 square feet, and it's $1 million. Guys, that's what you get for $1 million these days. Let's take a look at this one here at the Villages. Yep, it's in the Villages. Now, the Villages is more expensive to live at because there's a lot of amenities, right? It's $1,000 a month for the condo, but you have access to their golf course. You have access to all their clubs. There's a restaurant. There's a restaurant and a cafe there. They have pickleball. They have tennis. They have golf. They have horseback riding. They have wood shop. They have all sorts of fun things. And it's a gated community. So safety, if safety's paramount for you, this is a great place to live. And look, it's on market for 66 days, $799. It looks like an end unit. And look, it's in pretty original condition. Carpet, single story. Looks like this one is a bottom unit. Yeah. These are pretty standard for what you're looking at here, right? This one's a little bit larger. And the nice thing is it's an end unit. I've been in this model before. So it's a good unit. Let's take a quick look. One thing about this area right here is there's no gas. They did not port gas here, so everything is electric. The water heater, the stove, the dryer, everything is electric. So you have to pay for electric. For your own utilities. So if it's something you're interested in looking at, I'm sure we can get this one at a steal. They had this one originally listed at $879, and they just reduced it, half a month ago, 20 days ago. So if you're interested in it, it's a good buy right here. Okay, that's it. Let's see, Bitly. Yeah, that's it. All right. 13 minutes. I got through it pretty quick today. Hope you had a great 4th of July. I'm Vito Scarnecchio with Abitano. We'll see you out there.